Beginning in a seated position, you can sit on the edge of a blanket if you'd like, and maybe glide one hand underneath the right sit bone, one hand underneath the left sit bone, so you really feel your buttocks rooted on the floor or the blankets below you. You can crisscross your ankles or soles of the feet together and draw the crown of the head up to the sky. Feel the length in the spine. Big breath in. Exhaling with a sigh. And take 2 more breaths with a sigh. Big inhale in. And exhaling out. One more. And exhaling with a sigh. And returning to your natural breath. Just noticing the breath. The hands can remain on the lap, or one hand can come to the heart and one hand to baby. Just feeling your torso and the space around baby move with each inhale and each exhale. Perhaps noticing the hand on the heart rise and fall with the inhale and the exhale. And the hand on the belly. The belly softens and the hand moves towards the front short edge of the mat. And then as you exhale, gently drawing in towards the spine. And this automatically happens without extra effort or purpose. Noticing the breath, the sound that it makes. Noticing the air as you exhale, graze the upper lip. Or maybe you're breathing out through the mouth and feeling the air through the circular shape of your lips leave the body. And just as you exhale, a new inhale begins. And this cycle keeps repeating. And with your breath, you nourish baby. And then lowering the hands to the lap, coming into some pelvic floor and core awareness, really getting into the deep energy systems of the body, the root chakra, and into the solar plexus area. So coming into the first 3 chakras. So as you inhale, softening the space between the sit bones, the belly softens, and then exhaling, picking up a marble from the anus and drawing it in and up towards the heart. And then imagining with the inhale, lowering the marble back down to the earth and completely letting it go. And then the next exhale, drawing the marble in and up, maybe through the vagina this time. Navel draws up towards the heart, so there's a gentle hug in. And then the inhale slowly lowers the marble back down, lowering it to the earth and letting go completely. And just moving at the pace of your breath. So the exhale, the sit bones draw together, even imagining the pubis bones and tailbones drawing together to the middle of the body and up towards the heart. And the inhale slowly allows the belly to soften and those 4 points to widen away from one another. And then the exhale begins again, drawing inwards and upwards. And the inhale softens and releases. And a few more breaths at your own pace. So noticing the belly expand and move with the breath. And noticing the pelvic floor engage and release. And building this awareness can take time, so be gentle with yourself. Just thinking about it and learning and opening yourself to this concept is the practice. And over time, you'll get to know yourself and this guidance a little bit more and be more comfortable with it. And with your next exhale, keep letting everything go and release. So there's a softening that happens with the inhale and a softening with the exhale. So just keep releasing the pelvic floor, keep releasing the abdomen, sometimes even bringing hands to baby and just bringing a gentle touch around your abdomen can just send that signal to just soften abs, just soften. Baby's not going to fall out the belly button. And baby's not going to fall out your vagina right now. If it were that easy, we wouldn't have to practice and prepare for childbirth and for the effort that it takes to be a warrior birther and birth babies. And keep releasing a few more breaths. Soften the space at the anus, all the way up to the urethra, the space of the perineum. Good job. And gently draw the chin in towards the heart. Notice the length in the spine, even as the head draws in a little bit. And then slowly lift the gaze back up. We're going to move on to the back. So if you have a blanket underneath you, you can remove that off to the side. And before we lie down in the back, there's a few things to be aware of. One is that unless your healthcare provider has said to not lie on your back, you likely very much can lie on your back and be okay. You know when you want to get up from lying on your back back to a seated position if you start to get shortness of breath, dizzy or faint feeling, lightheaded. If you start to feel nauseous, like an upset tummy, or start to get reflux. And you get the internal cue, or you get the internal cue to move into a new position. So trust your instincts. They are right to listen to your body. So when you need to move, just roll over to the side and lift yourself up to a seat. So from here, bringing the soles of the feet onto the floor, knees to the sky. Hands come behind you, fingertips face the front short edge of your mat. You can firmly plant the feet into the earth. So feel the four corners of the feet, the base of the big toes, baby toes, inner and outer edges of the heels firmly rooted. The palms press into the floor just as you rooted the feet down. Draw the shoulder blades together, which broadens the collarbones, and the gaze starts to lift up the wall a little bit. Breathe deeply here. Notice if you're pressing the chest forward. Draw the back of the rib cage back a little bit, but still keep the collarbones broad. And then draw baby in and up, so pelvic floor draws in and up, navel towards the heart. The low back is long and wide, so it's not curled or tucked under. You just have a really long and strong torso here. You can stay right here as this is a big heart opener and you're building arm strength and shoulder strength by pressing your palms into the earth. If you'd like to do one more thing, you're going to press the feet down into the floor. Hug the heels towards the hips, which brings the hips off the floor up to the sky. And I know that we're coming into reverse table first, so we will go onto our backs in just a minute. So shins and knees forward, heels hug towards the hips, nose is to the sky, the neck is long. You can breathe and swallow, and you'll feel baby and notice your belly move up and down with your breath. And then at any point in time, you can always lower the hips back to the earth. Maybe you can get one more big breath here. Full deep breathing, feeling the energy rise in the body, and then lowering the sit bones back to the earth. Bring the soles of the feet together, and then walking the hands forward and rounding the back in, or rounding the back forward if you'd like, and then returning back up. So now we're gonna lie on the back. So bring the knees up to the sky, hands come behind you, and then you're gonna lower onto your forearms until the back of your head is resting on the earth. There you go, all the way down to the earth. Toe heel or scooch your feet closer towards the sit bones, and the feet are only as wide as the hips, no wider. Draw the shoulder blades together, palms pressed into the earth. Rock the head from side to side. Find the sweet spot to rest the back of the head on. And you know what that sweet spot is for you. Take a breath, that's it. Feel your body laying on the floor. Listen to your cues of if and when you need to move and roll over to lift up to a seat. From here, moving through a slow bridge posture movement. So the inhale, the pelvic floor softens and the belly softens, so you stay still essentially. The exhale, pelvic floor draws in, navel to the heart, press the feet into the floor, lift the hips off the mat to the sky, and then take an inhale here, soften the belly, and then the exhale, pelvic floor in, navel to the heart, lowering the low back to the earth. And then the inhale, a physical pause, but a softness in the belly and the pelvic floor. Exhale, pelvic floor draws in, navel to the heart, hips lift. Inhale will soften the belly, but the hips stay up. And exhale will lower. So you're always moving on the exhale, and then the inhale is where you find some stillness. And you can continue at your own pace, maybe one or two more. And sometimes the idea of lifting the hips off the floor is more than enough. So if this is a new movement for you, a new idea, the idea of lifting your hips up is enough. We're building that connection with your body of envisioning the hips to lift. And even if they come a millimeter off the floor, there's a slight shift of where you are when you're still with the inhale. That's enough. So know that wherever you are is a great place to be. And then if you have your hips lifted, keeping them lowered once you come back to the mat. Taking a breath here. And then scooching the hips over towards the right side of the mat. Rolling the knees, rolling the right arm over to the left side of the mat. Pause for a moment. Just hang out here for a breath or two. Yep, I know we want to move and keep going, but this is really important just to help vertigo and for the mind and the body to integrate back together. And then press down into the top hand, kick the top heel to the front of the room, lift yourself up into a seat. That's it. So returning back into a seat, you can crisscross your feet in any direction you'd like. Maybe bring the blanket underneath you. And then with your next breath, inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. And the exhale, folding the right hand down to the earth, reach the left fingertips over, bend the right elbow, big side bend. Next breath, we'll reach back up to the sky and then over to the other side. Draw the back of the head back a little bit and the right shoulder blade draws to the left. So moving at your own pace from side to side, having the sit bones, the hips root down and be heavy, but feeling a lightness in the upper body. Creating lots of space for baby. And one more time in each direction. And then when you finish the set that you're on, reaching the fingertips up to the sky, press the palms together, thread the thumbs to the third eye, self-trust, and the heart, self-love, and hands to baby, baby love, welcoming a breath here. And then bringing the soles of the feet together. Grabbing onto the tops of the shins or even the knees and welcoming big body circles. So swishing the rib cage over to one side, hovering the heart over the feet, swishing the rib cage over to the other side with your breath and grabbing onto your legs as you sweep around. So making these circles as wide and expansive or as small and controlled as needed or wanted. It's okay for the hips to lift up. Envision your spine like a cooked spaghetti noodle and the head is an extension of the spine. the spine. So rolling and feeling your way through this. The gaze can be down or the eyes can even close. And one more circle in the direction that you're flowing. And then beginning to swish in the opposite direction when you're ready. Breathing in deeply, exhaling completely. Nice work. Feel your breath. Let your breath lead the expansiveness of the movement. And maybe one more circle in this direction. And then returning the crown of the head back to the sky, sit bones root. Feeling yourself strong and stable. And then returning hands to baby. Drawing the gaze down or allowing the eyes to close. Giving honor to this time in your life to allow space for baby to grow. That there is plenty of room in your body to house this baby or babies. And you have the perfect home to nurture and nourish healthy, beautiful children. Give yourself much honor and gratitude for connecting with yourself in this way. May you take this practice off the mat into your daily life, being the connected, strong, mobile, and beautiful person and parent you are.